Hello, and welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're fighting in 8 million proxy wars, but we have just aligned Ireland. We're going to launch from our traditional launching point of Pierre. We're going to try to strike out across the Great Plains to surround the syndicalist armies here. The Bulgarians are, well, we are holding Sofia, and ideally Romania will fall once we crush them in the north. I think right now our best plan is to just hold the line. In Italy, we are gradually grinding our way forward. I don't really see much benefit here, but I suppose we're doing what we're doing. In Argentina, we're gonna make a move towards Puerto Madryn and see if we can just end the war right there. In Guatemala, we are fighting against a combined syndicalist front. And I don't love our chances. I feel like we probably can try our best here. Meanwhile, we are going to try to pursue equal suffrage in Prussia, which should ideally stomp out the right wing's influence. We've kind of dropped the ball on the railway thing. We're about to get more Black Monday. We're doing all right on debt. Oh boy. Okay. A new order in Ireland! Following the Irish Republican Army's successful push against the previous government, they have faced the issue of how to consolidate the regime, while the Irish military have come to regard civilian rule as inherently corrupt due to the nascent administration's lack of political legitimacy. The General Staff have been forced to seek out a puppet ruler from one of the country's major parties who will endorse the new junta. And to this end, they have consulted German advisors regarding who would be most beneficial for the interests of both the Irish Republic and the German Empire. We have a fervent nationalist. Eotas Naciunta is fervently nationalistic and contains some integralist leanings amongst the party leadership, staunchly opposed to syndicalism and loyalism. Their leader, Aon O'Duffy, would happily support installation of a dictatorship, but they remain at the core economically protectionist, even if O'Duffy would compromise were he dependent on German backing. Sinn Féin are liberal and cosmopolitan with a tough law and order approach. However, their concessionary attitude to the loyalist minority is disliked by the Irish armed forces. Famed war hero Michael Collins could be more easily persuaded, but his charismatic personality will prove harder to control, while Richard McCulley, though more prickly, lacks Collins' presence. Should Germany wish to push for a more hard-line, anti-syndicalist standpoint without bringing it into the Republic's parliamentary system, a coalition of Ados Nasuntia and An Sorsat Creostul could be organized. Latter is Christian Democratic Party, while more moderate, maybe convinced to work alongside AN, though both share isolationist views, with the IRA establishing foundations of deep state behind the scenes, ensuring that any subsequent elections are rigged in their favor. Ireland's position with the German sphere of influence is secured for the foreseeable future. As during the Weltkrieg, the Irish and Germans shall stand together side by side against their nation's mutual enemies. I'm inclined to go with Michael Collins. Sure. Hey, big fellow. Anyways. Yeah, we're choked on political power. Which means I want to prioritize equal suffrage. It's Belgium! Ah, Nepal lost. But it looks like the commune is going down. As you do. I may have slightly bozoed it. I don't know if it matters, though. Oh, nice. The economy recovers! A long period of economic downturn has finally come to an end. A long series of strategic government policy to alleviate the malaise have finally had their effect, and for the first time in years, Germany has reached pre-1934 industrial production levels. Not only have the effects of the economic crisis sparked by Black Monday have been curtailed, but also the instability set in that markets ever since the election of Boris Savnikov in the Russian Republic. Now that productivity and employment have been restored to stable levels, emergency economic controls can be loosened, and financing for other government programs expanded. The Heer has been itching to initiate major reforms, and their leadership has already begun lobbying members of the Reichstag to finance ambitious rearmament projects. Long live the unsurpassed empire! Alright. No more vast public works. Alright, we have equal suffrage. Fine, it's not gonna matter. We want let's foster rural democratic sentiment. Free peasant on free soil. Nice. For decades, a social democratic agricultural program has been an oxymoron. The early SDP primarily perceived itself as a representation of the urban proletariat and decried the peasantry as the foster child of the state. The only vaguely defined goal was the eventual socialization of the rural means of production, and the best case, the form of large cooperative estates. After all, Marx himself had prophesied the eventual demise of the small subsistence farm and saw the future in mechanized, rationalized, and plantation-like large-scale agrarian enterprises. Over time, however, wise comrades started to realize that Marx had been misguided. Not the small farm was doomed to die. Not the small farm was doomed to die, but the inefficiently run large Junker estate of the East. Revisionists like Edouard David, Arthur Schultz, and George von Volmar started to contest the orthodox Marxist doctrinaires and developed the concept of democratic agrarian socialism, closely inspired by social liberal notions. Ideas like the partition of large agrarian estates into parceled-out family enterprises, solidarity between worker and farmer, and large-scale internal colonization were rejected by party leaders such as Bibel and Kautsky, as it would only guarantee the property ownership of the archaic class threatened with extinction, which was incompatible with party doctrine and the class struggle. Only after the war, the voices of reason prevailed. Old hardliners faded to the background as the age of the social democratic political practice began under Solf, Erzenberger, and Brockdorff. Nonetheless, it took almost another decade before the party finally embraced the theories to set up a more than a generation before them, and yet another until their final implementation under the Democratic Union government. Hand in hand with compromise-willing bourgeoisie parties, the SDP has finally dared to build a bridge to the ordinary farmer, curtailing the influence of big estates Embrace the idea of democratic agrarian socialism. Now, as the free peasant finally stands on his own free soil, another pillar of German democracy has been reinforced against the omnipeasant reaction. The future belongs to the free-holding peasant. Meddling in Poland. The Polish elections of 1938 are looking extremely tense. The liberal opposition to the MKP and the king's government have only grown during the economic depression, and no doubt because of the foreign agents smearing us at every turn, the king wishes to keep the elections as legitimate as possible, but we could pressure his government to skew the electoral process a bit in their favor, coming with a large sum to bolster their campaigning. Fund the interpartisan circle discreetly, make sure they win, and save their precious democracy, never. Think we want to make sure that they win. And maybe we do it discreetly. Nice. Oh boy. Prussian House of Representatives debate electoral reform. In 1918, the replacement of the infamous three-class voting system in Prussia with the plural voting law was considered a tremendous achievement for progressive politicians. But by 1936, it is no longer enough. Much of the empire has by now adopted universal equal voting, and no longer satisfied with the achievement from 2 decades ago. The SDP was the first to demand the establishment of equal suffrage in Prussia in its electoral program. Now that resistance to central rule in Prussia has been squashed and the Democratic Union appears stable, the SDP representatives in the Prussian House of Representatives have presented a proposal for electoral reform to the floor. It will not only have to defeat resistance from the conservative deputies, but also from the reactionary deputies in the Prussian House of Lords. Will fight back against any perceived threats to their power. Already, their influence was curbed in 1919 with the introduction of professional industrial representatives, from the farmer to the artisan, to the junker to the industrialist. What proposal will the Social Democrats bring? Probably not the one that's going to be blocked or moderated away. I'm going to go with simply push for equal suffrage in the lower house. We did it. After long and arduous debate, the Prussian legislature finally approved the reform package pushed forward by the Democratic Union. All inequality in the voting law has finally been swept away, and it is anticipated the next elections to the House of Representatives will see enormous gains for the Democratic parties. The Junker elite, the conservative farmers, the reactionary businesses will have to cope with yet another defeat, and consider how to reinvent their movements for a new era. Perhaps they will embrace compassionate conservatism, align themselves ever closer with agrarian politics, or possibly even join forces with the dun-dun-dun Catholics. Another victory for social democracy. That's the moderate one, but moderate victories will beget less moderate victories. Yeah, we don't need to play the card game anymore. Bye-bye. Failed. Alright. Do we still have to do this stupid stuff? How do we kill government paralysis? This is so annoying. Well, actually, no, wait. We just push back demand for action? Oh, we can invite the agrarians. I think we can and should invite the agrarians. But first we should step on these guys. How much front organization do we have? 30. Well, nationwide rallies. Well, we could push out reactionary civil servants. We should probably start preparing for war. I'm thonking. I think we should try to prepare for war. We want as many more prepared. God, I don't care. It's actually probably good for us to get this, because the funds gain is going to be beneficial. Oh, it's either or that will leave us more prepared. Better rifles, more good. Give Gib a gun. I think the idea is we have to crush the... We need to reduce this to 0, which is like, sure. Romania has capitulated. Boy, that's really good. That's excellent. See, this is what I was hoping for. Okay, well, I need to be considerate. All right. So we've been a bit busy, so I may have neglected my volunteers. Alright, well, luckily, literally nothing is happening on this Well, the Italian front continues to be a nightmarish grind. Fortunately, my tanks have not been surrounded and destroyed, but they should probably stop attacking. Oh, never mind, I lost. Well, that's bad. Okay, well, I bozoed away two of my tanks. That's really frustrating. But that's what you get for doing what you're doing. Okay. Well, that's just the price of doing business, I guess. Here come more volunteers. Take these guys and just make them... I don't have enough tanks. Ooh, can I make them motorized, though? Yes, I can. Okay. Yes, yes, yes! That's better than nothing. Okay, more street clashes. We won't stop now. You invite the agrarians. Whew, thank good. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Split in the DVLP. The aftermath of the 1936 election was not kind to the Fatherland Party. For 2 decades, they hoped to bring conservative revolution to Germany, even by allying with the moderate right. Yet, the aftermath of the greatest crisis in German economic history was not enough to propel them to power. Many of the DVLP's financial backers pulled out, recognizing their money was being thrown into a giant hole. Old enemies from a decade ago resurfaced. Alfred Hugenberg proclaimed a challenge to the chairman of the party, Ulrich von Hassel, yet again. Hugenberg's aggressive reactionary faction, even more anti-Semitic and anti-parliamentary than the rivals, attempted to topple Hassel on a party conference, yet failed, thus chose another path, splitting off. Over the year, the DVLP began to disintegrate. Hugenberg's faction formed the German National State Party, whereas a few other ambitious figures in the local branches defected to radical far-right, such as the DVP or DSP, switched to the conservatives, became independent, or even formed their own doomed right-wing parties. The fragile unity of the German far-right has ended. Infighting dominates the radical current much more, much like it had before the Weltkrieg. Thank goodness. That's good for us. It's great for us. I don't think losing those tanks is the end of the world. It's just really freaking annoying. I'm just like bozo mode. counts. It's 38, but it counts. We'll get better armor. Yeah, my infantry tank. I think Guatemala might be doomed. Whereas I think here we are slowly winning. Yeah, we should just attack. At least we're winning here. I like how I managed to trap my guys here, but they still haven't died. Go away. Well, because we captured a port, so it's not, they're not really trapped. Hey. Bigger engine, sure. This feels like it'd be borderline impossible to do in multiplayer. Okay. BASF declares record profits. BASF has declared record earnings as of late, the largest oil company operating in Germany and Eastern Europe as a whole. This is no surprise, as concurrently with Ukraine's ongoing industrialization program, they have helped Ukraine's oil industry take off. We have been able to reap some of the benefits ourselves, especially due to Soropatsky's administration's lucrative deals with German businessmen. Fantastic, or greater initiative. Katerin, let me... How much oil is that? 35? I don't know. It's probably worth it to take greater advantage of this. As much as it is valuable to have political power. We're going to take greater advantage of that. Crud. Alright. I'm going to take a swing at Valencia right now. I'm thinking now's the time. Kesselring is ill. Great, that sucks. I think we're going to lose in America. That's bad. Oh, man. Burgos fall. What the heck? Okay. Hey! Monarchist coalition re-elected in Poland. For 4 years, the young kingdom of Poland has been a political battleground. Conservatives, progressives, socialists, nationalists, friends and foes of Germany, all alike, all struggling to the backdrop of Black Monday, underground criminal investigations, and foreign meddling. In this light, this year's elections were made out to be a sign for domestic policies and Germany's prospects in the East. Fortunately for Berlin, The elections ended in victory for the interpartisan circles governing monarchist coalition and centrist pro-German program. Having averted the threat of electoral defeat, the circle has vindicated its liberal direction, staved off radical actors for the moment, but even so, tensions remain, and Polish politics seem unlikely to ease up anytime soon. Send Ponikowski our regards. Yeah, they're liberals. We're good with that. Okay, we got our surround. I think the thing we should do is this. Union of Burma has joined the Eastern Syndicalist Union. That's no good. Alright, we're winning, finally, in the Bulgarians. No, it doesn't have organization. Here comes organization! Boop. Middle Europa vote impending. Understood. Syndicalism spreads to Burma. Country after country, the revolution progresses. We could be the deciding vote here, actually. Industrial projects. I actually would prefer construction speed. Alright, Argentina, Chile. Alright, Argentina wins their war. Great. Looks like we're mostly winning. Poland is unstable, and military setbacks might trigger an uprising. Alright, great. So let's just not have military setbacks. Oh, we simply won't lose. That's a very good plan. Let's just don't lose. Right, we're gonna try. Wait, how are we doing on? All right, we almost have a better medium tank chassis. That's good, by the way. Oh, we need to do this, obviously. We need more fighters. We have our plan. Oh, that's annoying. They broke out of their stupid encirclement. How's our fervor? It's fine. How's their fervor? It's not as good. Okay. Expand rifle testing. More production efficiency, more good. Okay, more synthetics. More military railway. More buildy stuff. Let's just get more military factories. I'm surprised Middle Africa has not collapsed. Alright, well, it's getting there. Hmm. I'm thinking. Stabilization priority. Yeah, that's a good idea. Alright. By the way, how are things going in Pacific? Probably badly, right? Well... I think we could probably execute a little bit of cut and thrust. Okay, there we go. That's something. How is it going in Guatemala? Alright, we've been pushed off of our final El Salvadorian tile. That's the way it is. The car lists, it's going okay. You know, whatever. How's it going with the Sicilian? Yeah, we're getting there. Alright, we've got these boys back. Oh, how are we doing on, I'm literally scrommeting right now. How close are we to, oh, demand for action. We have a ton of time. That was the thing I was thinking of. Alright, that is going to be it for today. Oh wait, actually, let me just finish something real quick. Before I forget. The Golden Throne Jubilee! Today is a day of monumentous celebration. Exactly 50 years ago, in 1888, our Kaiser, Wilhelm II, assumed the throne after the unfortunate death of his father, Friedrich III. The past 50 years have seen Germany become a worldwide empire and establish a hegemony throughout Europe, all while making immense reforms at home. The Wilhelmine era is a period of great change, conflict, but also greatness. The Kaiser, already nearly 80 years old and in weakening health, made a tour of his empire, meeting his subjects and visiting the monarchs of constituent states. His eldest son and heir apparent, Crown Prince Wilhelm, fulfilled much of the duties during the visit. Already the people and the government officials are expecting him to be required to assume the throne soon. Preparations are slowly being made for a transfer of power and duties. Long live Kaiser Wilhelm II. Which means we can do this. Ha ha ha! Which means we gain political power. Ha ha ha. Alright. I will see you in the next episode. We are succeeding in some places, failing in others, as is usually our way. We are stumbling towards success. Goodbye.